Hello and welcome to another edition of the Pronunciation Critique series. We're back at it. So again, my name is Joe Previtt. I'm kind of the creator of the English Byte community, which is folks who are non-native English speakers that are programmers and want to land remote dev jobs. So in these critiques, the whole point is to kind of watch a video of somebody else, usually on YouTube, talking about something technical usually, and to critique them, to point out things that they could probably do better, and to identify those patterns so that you can figure out, oh, am I doing those same things? And just to learn. So yeah, let's get into it. I can't remember if this is either first or second video with the new setup. So if you have any feedback on like the volume of the microphone or the placement or anything, like please drop a comment below. But without further ado, we're going to be critiquing Andrey, who is a member of the English Byte community, is a software developer, got his Twitter and YouTube here. And so we're going to be looking at this video, which he uploaded, I want to say like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so October 15th, 2023. So yeah, it's pretty new. So typically the way that we do this, if you're new, is we'll watch a minute, kind of on silent. Well, silent, I won't be talking. Then we'll watch it again, and I'll pause and kind of point out some things that he could have done differently. So the other thing I like to do is turn on closed captions. These are auto-generated, but it's kind of like a great litmus test to figure out what Google is hearing when you are speaking English.
In this video, several steps how to develop iOS app from idea to release. I developed my first app last year. I still use it from time to time, and there are several downloads, but the main idea behind it was to learn. I read a book about Swift, I learned Swift UI, I learned how to add subscription and how to publish it to App Store. This year I decided to try again, and this time I logged all my actions. I wrote a weekly tweet about my progress. The app is quite simple. I use Instagram, and when you post on Instagram, it reframes the photo with aspect ratio 4:5 or 5:4, and sometimes I don't like it. I want to keep my proportions of the sides, and the obvious solution for this is to add a frame with the required aspect ratio. Also, I found that some photos looks better than the
Cool. So the other thing I'll need to check with Andrey, I think he's living in France, but I'm wondering if French is his first language. Sounds like it could be like Russian or Ukrainian, just, based on previous things I've heard. So I guess by the time I post this video, you'll know. But anyways, let's get into it.
In this video, several...
So the TH sound, it's one that we've pointed out a lot. So it's sounding like he's saying in this video versus in this, kind of more enunciated.
Steps how to develop iOS app from idea to release. I developed my first app last year.
First. So I think one of the things that he could do in general is just enunciating the words a little bit more. I developed my first app last year. So kind of like opening his mouth a little bit more. And even for anyone else who might need to do this as well, what I might do is go in front of a mirror and really try and kind of like open up your mouth and enunciate, like over exaggerate the movements of the mouth. Because basically, like if he's here and like this is where we want him to be, then you go in the mirror and you practice like over here, like over exaggerating. I don't know if you can see my hands because it might be off screen. But that way that when you're speaking normally, we can move it up more towards the middle. So that's kind of a big overall tip.
Year, I still use it from time to time.
I still use it from time. Use it. So kind of a hard T there versus like just I still use it from time to time. Kind of a softer T.
And there are several downloads.
Several. Right? Kind of hear the difference there.
But the main idea behind it...
yeah, so the schwa is another one. But so kind of, but the main idea...
was to learn. I read a...
Learn. So maybe an R. Something he could work on as too.
Book about Swift. I learned...
Swift. So Swift versus Swift. So kind of like these very like subtle things, like obviously you can understand what he's saying, and these are just slight things he could do to get more towards that native level accent.
Swift UI, I learned how to add subscription and
Subscription versus subscription.
How to publish it to App Store. This year I
So there grammar thing, he dropped the, so publish it to the App Store, right, rather than App Store.
decided to try again, and this time I logged all my actions.
So the G there, logged. And okay, so I think it is the schwa, if I'm remembering correctly.
Put a weekly tweet about my progress. The app is quite simple. I use Instagram and
but his pacing feels very natural, right? Like the sentences, the pauses, the cuts, like it all feels very kind of native-ish like.
when you post on Instagram, it reframes the photo with aspect ratio 4
So with the aspect ratio
to 5 or 5 to 4. And sometimes I don't like it. I want to keep my proportions of the sides. And the obvious solution for this is to add a frame with a required aspect ratio.
Required, right? Required. So again, the R sound would be another one.
Also, I found that some photos looks better.
But like overall, like, you know, even just when I was first watching this, I was like, oh, I'm really interested in this because I was thinking about building an iOS app the other day. And with the whole idea of like, how do you add a paid subscription and all that. So, so this is super interesting. But anyways, yeah, great job. I mean, again, good pace, able to communicate, like you can understand everything he's saying. Like his vocabulary is not just simple things. You know, he's made a lot of videos. It's more of just like tweaking those words, kind of opening his mouth up more, that I would think kind of bring him to that next level pronunciation wise. So yeah, great job. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Again, this is brought to you by the EnglishByte.com newsletter. We send out the Monday Byte every Monday with 4 things to help you improve your English with the hopes of helping you land a remote dev job. So go check it out if you want more content like this. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.